Why does a Labrador retriever follow you from room to room without ever seeming tired of it? Why does this dog wait outside the bathroom as if your return matters more than anything else? Why does it lean close the moment you sit down, even when nothing exciting is happening? Many people call this clingy behavior, but that explanation misses something much deeper. A Labrador is not simply chasing attention every minute of the day. Very often, it is trying to stay connected to the person that feels safest. Following you is one of the clearest ways a Labrador keeps that connection alive. In your dog's mind, distance can feel more important than silence. It does not need you to speak for your presence to matter. It only needs to know where you are and whether the bond still feels secure. This is why a Labrador may get up the second you leave the sofa. It is why the dog may pause at every doorway just to keep you in sight. It is why even your smallest movement can become a signal worth tracking. What looks like shadowing is often a daily check on safety and closeness. Labradors are deeply social dogs, and that social wiring shapes their routine. They were developed to work closely with people, not far away from them. Their history rewarded cooperation, attention, and constant awareness of human movement. So staying near you is not random, and it is not a silly habit. It is a behavior built from companionship, teamwork, and trust. The habit starts to make sense when you remember what this breed was shaped to do. A Labrador was never meant to ignore its human and drift off alone for long. Its instincts pull it towards shared activity, shared space, and shared purpose. Even when nothing important seems to be happening, being near you still feels meaningful. Your dog may not know your task, but it knows you are its anchor. That is why simple moments can matter so much. You walking into the kitchen can feel like the start of something worth joining. You closing a door can feel like a sudden break in connection. You sitting quietly can feel like an invitation to settle nearby. For a Labrador, closeness is often part of emotional regulation. Being near you helps the nervous system stay steady. This is also why many Labradors do not just follow. They soften once they reach you. They lie against your feet, rest near your chair, or press lightly into your side. That body closeness is not always a demand. Sometimes it is simply where calm comes easier. What seems needy can actually be a search for calm. What seems excessive can actually be a strategy for reassurance. A Labrador often feels safer when your location is clear and predictable. The more reliable your presence feels, the easier it is for the dog to settle. The less certain that connection feels, the more persistent the following can become. This does not mean every Labrador that follows is distressed. Many are simply expressing healthy attachment in a very visible way. They enjoy partnership, and they choose to stay close because it feels good. But attachment can become more intense when routine feels unstable. Long hours of boredom can make following stronger. Sudden changes in schedule can make following stronger. Too little interaction can make following stronger. A dog that feels emotionally underfilled will often seek more proximity. So the behavior is not just about personality. It is also about how secure, engaged, and understood the dog feels at home. This is why a Labrador may appear exactly where you least expect it. Outside the bathroom door, it waits for your return to make sense of the pause. Beside your chair, it settles where your scent and movement stay close. In the hallway, it watches to see whether the family is gathering or separating. At the edge of the bed, it checks whether the night still feels shared. These small moments may look ordinary to you. To your dog, they are part of staying emotionally synchronized. Labradors often read daily life through presence, rhythm, and access. They want to know when the group is together and when it is moving. And because you are the center of that group, Your movement carries weight. This is where people sometimes misunderstand the behavior the most. They assume the dog follows because it wants to control the house. They assume the dog follows because it cannot handle being told no. They assume the dog follows because it has been spoiled by affection. But affection alone does not create this pattern. Breed history, social instinct, and emotional security all play a part. A Labrador is especially sensitive to human routines and shared activity. It notices when you stand, when you leave, and when you return. It learns that your movement often predicts the next part of the day. So following becomes a way of staying connected to both you and the routine. The behavior can become even stronger in dogs that are often left mentally idle. A Labrador with too little stimulation will look harder for guidance and connection. If the mind has nowhere useful to go, it often goes back to you. That does not mean the dog is manipulative. It means you have become the most important source of structure. This is also why some Labradors follow more after stressful days. Stress can increase the need to check in. Uncertainty can increase the need to stay close. A sensitive dog may use your presence as a way to recover faster. In that state, following is less about excitement and more about regulation. Still, healthy attachment is not the same as total dependence. A Labrador should feel connected to you without panicking when space appears. That balance does not grow from pushing the dog away coldly. It grows from teaching that short separation can also feel safe. Small moments of calm independence matter here. Staying on a mat while you move across the room can be practice. Waiting quietly for a few seconds can be practice. Relaxing with a chew while you step away can be practice. The goal is not to reduce love. The goal is to widen the dog's sense of safety. Rewarding calm waiting helps the dog learn that distance is not loss. Simple enrichment helps the mind stay occupied without chasing you constantly. Predictable routines help the body stop treating every movement like a mystery. Short training games build confidence away from your side. Resting alone for brief periods teaches that connection can continue without contact. These lessons work best when they stay gentle and consistent. Harsh correction often makes insecurity worse. Confusion often makes shadowing worse. A Labrador learns best when safety and clarity arrive together. That means you guide independence without removing emotional warmth. Daily connection still matters just as much as independence practice. This breed does not thrive on distance for the sake of distance. It thrives on interaction, purpose, and being included in life. Walks, games, scent work, and shared routines help meet that need. So does quiet companionship that asks for nothing dramatic. When a Labrador feels seen, engaged, and secure, following often becomes softer. The dog may still choose your side, but with less tension in the choice. It follows because closeness is pleasant, not because separation feels alarming. That is the healthiest version of the habit. The bond stays strong, while the nervous system stays calmer. So if your Labrador trails behind you like a loyal shadow, look beyond the surface. The real signal may not be clinginess at all. It may be trust expressed through movement. It may be comfort expressed through proximity. It may be an old working instinct meeting a modern home. And it may be a gentle request to stay emotionally connected. Your dog is not only asking where you are, it is asking whether the safe center of its world is still close. That is why your Labrador keeps following you. In its emotional world, staying near you is how safety feels real.